Welcome to Inside Your Schools, a local podcast from, for, and within the San Luis Coastal Unified School District. Join us for a deep dive into things like innovation, artificial intelligence, empowering student voice, career technical education, school facilities, youth athletics, summer programs, and so much more. So tune in each month and learn more about how San Luis Coastal Unified School District is impacting students, staff, families, and community. Right here on Inside Your Schools. Well, hello and welcome again to Inside Your Schools, the San Luis Coastal Unified School District's monthly podcast. I'm your host, Terry Caney, and this is podcast number 6. Now, I know that summer isn't on a lot of people's minds these days, but, with all the rain and cold weather we're having, but it is on our minds. And today, we'll be discussing San Luis Coastal's Summer Experience Program. Just like we always do, why don't we start by having each of our guests just tell us a little bit about who you are and your role in the district.
Sure, Jeff. You want to go first on that one?
Sure. Yeah, my name's Jeff Martin. I've been
I also understand you have the same barber.
Yeah, we do.
Nice.
Honestly, Terry, that joke never gets old. I appreciate it every time.
Okay, yeah. Hey, got that out of the way, right?
Save a few bucks.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff Martin. I'm been a principal in the district for a while now, but one of the roles I've played recently is taking on helping develop our summer program. And so I've been doing that for this is the third year, going on 3 years now. And so currently principal at Teach Elementary School, but also, again, coordinating our summer experience program.
And I've got the pleasure of working alongside Jeff, Leslie O'Connor, secondary director, and take on the privilege of working with Jeff to figure out high school summer school. As we come out of COVID, last year was our first year of really re-entering that summer school opportunity for high school kids. And then this is our second year doing that.
Excellent. Right on. Okay, well, let's jump right in. So, Jeff, I know, as director, tell us a little bit about, this particular program, how it started, when it started, and basically what the district set out to accomplish.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get to that, though, Terry, I got to say, you can't call me director. This guy's the director over here. You may not have mentioned that. Just to be clear, I'm a principal.
You know what, Terry? Words matter around here, Terry. You got to be careful.
There it is. Right. How about we go D1 and D2?
That's even worse.
I don't like that either. But no, I would say summer. I don't have an official title when it comes to summer experience, but I would say just kind of lead coordinator. Just making sure that the things get done. So basically, it started out really, I think, giving Dr. Prater a lot of credit and the board because Dr. Prater's a dreamer, right? And that's a good thing. He likes to think big. And one of the things he talked to me about early on, and we've had conversations throughout the years, was how do we really provide these dynamic learning experiences for students that they really care about? And he wanted to reimagine what summer school could look like. And so that conversation started, like 4 years ago, I want to say, and he convened some stakeholder groups and got some input about what this could look like, and pulled out the research. And so trying to develop a program that started about 3 years ago with this visioning and writing a mission statement was about 3 to 4 years ago. And that kind of came together for the first initial launch was like a year before I got involved. So 3 years ago. And it was kind of what I guess would call a great first step, but it was the summer experience kind of light program because it was kind of being done without a coordinator, right? So my role hadn't been created yet. So I'm very thankful for Dr. Prater to put me into that role as coordinator with a couple of other duties, but I was really able to focus and not be at a school site trying to manage a school site as well as, bringing this program on board. So aligning it to the vision and mission of those groups was really fun, and I kind of made some good headway the last couple of years.
So I know the title of the program is Summer Experience. Tell us a little bit about how it differs from a traditional summer program, because I believe you still have a traditional summer program, right, where kids in credit recovery can attend, particularly high school, I assume. But tell us a little bit about those differences.
Yeah, and Leslie, I'll have you share about this too, because our programs they do look a little bit different, right? From elementary school, middle school, high school, for sure. But we really, again, wanted to reimagine what the traditional summer school looked like. Typically in a summer school program, you see students who might be only those students who are operating below grade level, right? They're performing below the grade level standards. They need that remediation or that support to bring them back up to grade level. They might be attending half day. It might only be English, language arts, and math that we're focused on in those traditional summer programs. We kind of just blew that concept up, and really wanted to not only do a full day program, open it up to all students, not just those that needed some academic support, and then offer just a great variety of enrichment classes as well.
Terrific. Right on. So about how many students participate? Do those numbers fluctuate from year to year?
The last 2 years we've had, I think, K8, K7, I should say, what we call rising first through eighth graders. Really confuses people, but we had about 1,500 students on average the last couple of years. Actually more than that year before last, but that's only because we offered parents' choice and students' choice to attend 1 period a day or 3 weeks or 6 weeks. Last year, because of some funding requirements, we actually went full 6 weeks, full days for all students, and we served 1,500 elementary and middle school students.
Terrific.
So yeah, pretty proud of that. Yeah, it's been well received by our community. Great feedback.
Yeah. So, Leslie, you mentioned briefly, COVID and its impact. Why don't you talk a little bit about how it actually affected the summer program? I would assume that COVID probably, made it that much more necessary for you to really try and enrich and expand your summer offerings, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we go back 3 years, think about what that was like 3-4 years ago in the height of COVID. We wanted to make sure we still had an offering when we all went virtual. So we had virtual school even in the summer because students needed to stay on that path, whether that was credit recovery or even original credit, but it was all online. And as we come out of COVID, we had to reimagine even what high school looks like. Back in the day, high school opportunities for credit would be credit recovery and original credit, but it was always in person. Obviously, with the onset of technology and the pandemic, that changed the paradigm really completely. So one of the areas that we know our students really benefit from is having that relational nature on campus, especially in summer, because it is such a huge commitment. However, at the same time, we also know that parents like choice and students like choice, and we have to keep that in the back of our mind. So can we be nimble? Can we be fluid to be able to create an alternative as well to meet all of the needs of many? And I think that's what we're trying to design in San Luis Coastal, and we're pretty proud of it at the high school level as well. Terrific.
Right on. Well, I mean, I think this just seems to me it's how you operate as a district, right? You really focus on the whole child and providing the kinds of supports and benefits you can for every student. That goes beyond the classroom walls, right? And so I think, this particular program, the summer experience, is a classic example of that because it's really comprehensive. I mean, it's free, number one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
All day. Right. And transportation, meals, even childcare. Talk about that.
So last year, so we got some additional funding from the state, or some funding from the state kind of dedicated to extending learning opportunities, which is appropriate use for summer. And we were able to provide free childcare for students as young as transitional kindergarten. So we're talking 4-year-olds all the way through 6th grade. And there was a limited number of spaces available, right? Because we contract with our partner agencies with the YMCA, SLO Parks and Rec, for example, to provide that childcare. But yeah, for those who were able to get in, and it was free. So that's a great benefit to our working families who, childcare is expensive. So to be able to provide that extra service really just kind of rounds out our comprehensive program.
That's great. And when you say meals, is that breakfast and lunch?
Yep.
Yeah, and the meals are terrific.
Meals are great.
I know that if you've done some podcasts in the past, or if you get a chance to get Erin Primer on there in food services, I mean, that's like a treat. That lady's like...
Talk about reimagining school meals, right?
Right? Like,
oh, my Lord. Yeah, she's a dynamo.
She is an absolute dynamo.
I'm watching The Bear right now, and I think about her from time to time. It's like if you've heard about that show on Netflix or Hulu or whatever it is, but if they had a bear for schools, that would be her. Yeah, she's just a go-getter, man. She's terrific.
Yeah,
So
full of energy.
wonderful. Well, let's switch gears a little bit. So Leslie, I know you and I had a conversation, I think last month on this very podcast about career tech ed, career pathways. So also a pretty unique program in San Luis Coastal. I mean, you guys have your own unique slant to career pathways. Can the students who take part in CTE, I mean, are the classes and the course offerings, are they fairly similar to what they can experience in summer experience?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So one of the things that I got to give credit to Jeff and the team about is they really honed in on those elementary grades to really, get the students excited and, think 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th grade, get them excited about the opportunities that are possible in high school around those career technical education, STEAM, elective, highly engaging, enriching opportunities. Think about like flying drones, think about art and ceramics, think about theater, think about culinary. We're really priming the pump, so to speak, in San Luis Coastal with our younger kids so that when they get into later grades, that they have that exposure and they've had that opportunity to kind of dabble a little bit. And then the second piece for us in high school, summer school, providing those kind of core classes, think math, think science, think social studies, health, physical education. It allows and frees up schedule opportunities for students in the regular year to be able to take more advantage of those enrichment opportunities that are high tech career exploration types of classes that can really extend the child.
Wow.
Yep.
And so from like a staffing perspective, who do you hire? Do you hire your normal teachers throughout the
Are
school
you offering
year?
your services there,
outside
Terry?
the district? What do you do?
Well, Terry, you know what? There's a method to the madness. So we start off by pulling together like what is it we want to offer. We create that brochure. Jeff's done a fantastic job for the summer experience brochure. We do the same with the high school credit, and then we push out student staff interest forms. So we've pushed that out a couple of weeks ago. I mean, you think about it, that was in January and we're talking about June. So we're doing it early. Yeah. We're being very transparent. So, hey, if you're a staff member in San Luis Coastal, whatever your capacity, if you're interested in working in summer, let us know and we'll see if we can find a home for you. I will tell you that I'm working with an incredible team at the high school level. And we have lots of interviews set up already this week. And I would say that we've probably had 80 to 85% what we're projecting to be able to fill our positions in-house, which is super exciting this early. And Jeff can speak to that because he's lived that the last couple of years, right?
Yeah. So one of those other statistics is just for the 1st through 8th grade program to staff that last year was 200 staff members.
Wow.
So, and again, that's we're talking, elementary credentialed teachers, non-credentialed classified staff. We actually hire high school student aides to help come in and support our elementary and middle school students, which has been fantastic. Not only a benefit for those high school students to go through the process of, filling out the application, resume, interview, et cetera, but just the support that they can give our younger kids is tremendous. So that's another layer that's
Do you also bring in industry? Do you also bring in industry people too? Or?
Yeah, we do. So that's one of the things that was kind of a pillar of the visioning process early on, was just working with those community partners so that we can do a better job of connecting kids to the world of work and what the possibilities are, beyond their K-12 education, whether that's college pursuits or careers beyond that, or just vocational opportunities. So we've been working with community partners from the get-go. That's one of the most exciting parts for me. Right. I love that creative piece. What's just cool stuff we can do for kids, and who's doing it out there in the real world, so to speak, and how can we bring them in and work with them to be able to shed some light on that for our students?
And has it helped that the state's kind of relaxed some of its credentialing requirements, right? So the industry people have a better entry point into schools.
Is
that?
Yeah, really, right? I was like, yeah, they have. I mean, we talked about this a little bit in the career technical field. Yes. However, but I think about last summer at Slow High when I would see our students coming in off our buses, upper elementary grades, and how excited they were to go to like the bike fixing class, right?
Yeah.
Just as an example, or the culinary class. Like they're getting their hands dirty, so to speak, and they're really, really like enjoying enjoying that opportunity before they go to like the math class or the language arts class or whatever it may be.
Yeah, it breaks up their day.
Yeah, so weaving it all together really, gets kids excited. It gets parents super excited. They're dropping their kids off. Kids are walking up. Kids are getting off the bus, and they're excited about this full day experience for a couple of months in the summer.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about what we're doing right now. I know we have one of our high school teachers, Mr. Heimerdinger's interested in doing this again for this year. And he's going to have some younger students, some 5th through 8th graders. And, something like this possibly, right? Where they're doing podcasts. They're taking video. They're learning a lot of green screen technology. So yeah, some exciting things that we have on board for kids. I think about the swimmers that are signing up that are currently non-swimmers that by the end of the session, they've learned how to swim, So those are kind of some important life skills that are just kind of exciting. Some real success stories with kids and what they're doing in the summer.
Well, I'm sure for a lot of people, it's hard to imagine kids getting off the bus in early July and walking into school with smiles on their faces, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of an interesting concept.
So we're trying to, one of the things that's kind of important to me too, is we're trying to inspire students, but this is also inspiring for staff. I think just kind of reinvigorates some of their calling to make a difference with kids. And it's not, it's a little more freeing, right? Not so bound with the curriculum that we have and the standards, which, obviously are a great thing, but it's a little more liberating when you have a little more creative freedom with students around a topic that you might be passionate about.
Yeah, and just to pick up on that a little bit, Terry, also one of our goals at the high school level is to be intentional and explicit, and we've got some goals to take targeted groups of students and to move their compass, so to speak, to allow them to have greater opportunities to have access to acceleration once they get into high school. So one of the programs we're really proud about is our Next Gen program, targeting a specific group of students in 8th grade, and our entry point for them will be for them to go to summer school math this summer and really having wraparound services so that their entry point at 9th grade will be accelerated math, think 10th grade geometry honors, which really puts them on that path, not only to be college ready, but to be college competitive 3+ years down the line. So we're really thinking long term to be able to position our kids for success.
That's terrific. Do you, I'm just curious, do you also offer AVID or a program like that really focuses on, kind of those kids in the middle that maybe just need that extra little boost to go to the next level with their education?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, we offer AVID during the regular school year, but we work really closely with our high school leaders, middle school staff, and our counseling staff to really identify students who will benefit absolutely from that summer opportunity to accelerate. We also look at our second language learners, new generation, or not next generation, but our newcomers. Yeah, I mean, that's a priority within our district right now to make sure that there isn't that gap in the learning. And so we are, putting together that EL opportunity for our students as well. And then again, additional bilingual services wrapped around so that they can continue their education come June 10th when school traditionally gets out. They're going all the way through to the near end of July.
Wow. What really struck me was the opportunity that kids like 5th through 8th grade are actually on the high school campuses, right?
Yeah.
So they get to experience what a high school campus is like. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So that's
that's near and dear to my heart.
Not everybody was behind that at first. There's sometimes it makes some people uncomfortable to do these things that are a little innovative, but to me, that's really exciting. I love the fact that students are coming together from different schools. So if you live on the coast and you attend the coast schools, even at the elementary levels, Del Mar, Monarch Grove, Baywood, for example, you're all feeding into Morro Bay. Same thing with the city schools in San Luis. They're all feeding into San Luis High School. Students are able to meet students that they would otherwise not know. And as they make that transition into the middle school, Laguna and Los Osos, they're able to have those connections. And you're doing it at the high school facilities that our taxpayers have so generously, given to pass Measure D. And we see fantastic facilities now at both of our comprehensive high schools that our students are able to take advantage of during the summer and get excited about, hey, when I'm here in a few years, look at this. I'm going to play water polo or I'm going to take theater or whatever the case may be. They've lived in these spaces already and have smiles on their faces. I'm excited about that. I think that's one of those social advantages that is really is kind of unspoken. It's not one of those things we put out there in the front, but really for me, I love that these kids are making connections. They're making good friends with other people that don't go to their school that they're going to be able to benefit from down the road.
Oh, for sure. And even when you think about your typical eighth grader, right? I mean, that summer before high school is usually a frightening time. But think about being able to just spend an entire summer or 2 or 3 or 4 getting acclimated to that particular school. It just, I think it boosts confidence, and it's going to reduce those fears for sure. Right.
Yep.
Right on.
Agreed.
Well, how about, we only have about a minute or so left, but, I assume that you can't just do this on your own, right? Are there community partnerships that are pretty integral to this program as well?
Well, I've got a small planning team who's fantastic, and a lot of credit goes to them, really, because they do the planning. But again, we reach out to the community organizations for a lot of help. Children's Creative Project, for example, hires several of our artists who are artists in residence, and we contract with them, and so they really do help provide some of the staff and kind of offset some of that challenge for us to fully staff our program. It's worked really well. There's other partners, the Slow Bike Coalition, the Dunes Center, for example. The Slow Symphony we partner with as well. So several different community partners out there that we've worked with that are currently working with.
Yeah, and I mean, I just want to give a big shout out not only to the food services department, but you have to think about our custodial services. They're cleaning a massive campus all summer, and on high school campus, like we're going to have 1,000+ kids for about 7 weeks. So we've got like high school running basically all summer, and they still have to beautify and make sure campus is ready again for school starting in August. So we wouldn't be able to do any of it without that cooperation and collaboration with that team. And again, like Jeff, I'm very blessed. I mean, I've got an incredible team that I work with that are designing the high school summer school right now and putting it all together. But we put a lot of time into the planning and the communication. And then communicating to our students and their parents that they're signing up. I also want to give a big shout out to our local community college, Cuesta College, because we partner with Cuesta College to offer asynchronous opportunities for our high school kids to be able to take classes that allow them for dual enrollment and for substitution for graduation requirements. So think they're able to take like a history class through Cuesta College that will count towards their college credits, whilst also receiving that credit for high school graduation. So it's a great partnership with Cuesta College too.
That's wonderful. And so each of the high schools are open during the summer, right? But I assume you have like magnet elementary schools for the summer program?
So we have feeder elementary schools. So typically we have 3 elementary schools operating, and they only serve our rising 1st through 4th graders. So our younger elementary school students, and there's 3 there's other schools feed into those schools, right? So we have, like, for example, Los Ranchos, Pacheco, and C.L. Smith kids will all attend C.L. Smith this summer, and then we have it that way. So again, those kids are meeting new students that they're able to kind of make friends with, and then articulate into the middle schools and high schools together.
Right. Wow. So, if families are interested in this year's summer experience, here are the dates: June 17th through the 31st for 1st through 8th grade. 9th through 12th grade, there's 2 sessions, June 10th through the 28th, and July 1st through the 19th. And when will students be able to register?
Well, for us, we've actually started some of this early registration process. So we're actually in process now. The open registration, what we call course requests, start here in a couple of weeks. So families could just be on the lookout in all forms of communication. We try to hit Parent Square, which is our district communication tool, emails, superintendent's bulletins, for example. Yeah, we're putting the word out.
Yeah, we've got kids already registered right now for high school summer school. I was just looking at our review today. We have close to 100 kids already that are asking for certain classes. So it's an ongoing registration all the way through the spring.
Terrific. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have. But thank you both for all that you do. I mean, D1, D2, thank both of you guys, man. It's just,
That's it.
Wait, who's who?
It sounds like we'll be here Tuesday, Wednesday evening, 6 o'clock, tuning in.
Yeah,
like we could do all of that, Terry, right?
I like, you got the Dan Patrick look going on. I think I like
right?
that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's a good thing.
A lot more where that came from.
He's a good podcast.
Excellent. Well, I admire you guys for what you do. I admire your district for how you really take care of kids and really put students at the center. So kudos to everything you're doing, and keep up the good work, and appreciate you being on today.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. And thank you also to the San Luis Obispo County Office of Education and everyone involved behind the scenes, including Mandy Dawson, who does all of our scheduling and everything. And a quick reminder that each Inside Your Schools podcast can be found on the district website at slcusd.org. And thank you once again for joining us on another episode of Inside Your Schools. We'll see you next time.